Hello, welcome to your Astro Luna Tarot reading for the Capricorn first quarter moon happening on September 29th, 2025. This is Co-Creating with Cosmic Holly, and I'm Holly. Welcome. Today we're going to get a little mist rather than fire. It's rose water. So I send you refreshment and love, something Venus would like very much. And I like it. So it's a nice vibe shifter. As a matter of fact, I was thinking before we begin today of just asking you to just take a moment to just get quiet. Notice your breathing, your shoulders relax. In fact, let's roll our shoulders, bring them up to the ears, roll them down the spine. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position if you can. We're just gonna roll, and then one more time, just hold the shoulders up to the ears and let them drop. Up to the ears and let them drop. One more time. Shoulders up to the ears and drop. Woo! Okay. So, I'd also like to breathe. So noticing your breath. We're going to take a moment, right? I'm going to ring these chimes, and we're going to inhale through the nostrils, trying to keep a tall spine, and then exhale, keep remaining your spine, allowing it to remain tall. You're just going to exhale through your nostrils or through your mouth. So we're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or the mouth, whatever is comfortable for you. You can also, I rang it too soon. You can also relax your eyes or close them. Okay, so we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale, sending the breath down the spine, letting the belly expand. Exhale. And the belly relaxes, releases toward the spine. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling. Letting out a sigh. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Just let yourself become present. Wiggle your toes. Maybe even stamp your feet. Just let yourself be in your body. That's part of the Capricorn moon energy. We are in an earth sign for the moon, an air sign for the sun right now. And I suspect for a lot of us, a lot has changed in the last week. I'm going to talk about the Capricorn energy for a moment. Before I talk about do a recap of last week's energy. So when we're at the quarter moon, if you set intentions last week, you may be starting to feel what's working for your intentions, or maybe I'm going to say we might want to tweak out our intentions a little bit, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Also, during the quarter moon, this is when the moon and the sun kind of square. So we have this, like, the sun is our our personal shine, how we are in the world. And the moon is how we feel, how we reflect that shine. And during the quarter moon, I keep doing this, it's the square. Actually say time out, you can slow down. Slow down and notice how you're feeling. Assess what is happening. Because chances are there's, when we have the square, there can be a little bit of an irritation or a little bit of a rub that's calling for something to tweak, right? What needs to shift? So we have the new moon solar eclipse from last week on the 21st at 29 degrees Virgo. So just about to tip into Libra and go into the equinox, which means a change of season. Last week I said it was big changes happening. And when we're looking at setting intentions and what is happening with the moon, that we want to also go back and look at the lunar gestation cycle. So our quarter moon right now is at 7 degrees of Capricorn. I don't know if I mentioned that the quarter moon is on the 29th of September. So that means that the Capricorn new moon was around 9 months ago, was around 7 degrees, give or take a couple of degrees. So I don't have the date in front of me, but we are looking at a Capricorn new moon that happened near the new year of 2025. So what were your intentions? Basically, what were your intentions for 2025? You might want to go back and review and see if there's anything that's growing from that time or anything you want to reassess and change. What do you want to just like weed right out, get rid of, right? So that is what is going on. Now, Capricorn, the Capricorn moon wants to create something that is going to benefit the community, or is going to make an impact on the community, or and the community can be whatever it is for you, right? It could be like your family, it could be your job, it could be your something at the local library, it could be something huge. Capricorn is connected with politics and banking, things like that as well. So maybe you're running for office. Maybe we should all run for office with what's going on in the world. I wanted to share something. Anyway, one of the things with Capricorn is that Capricorn needs to learn how to trust themselves. There's this tendency to want to check in with everyone else, and by the time you're done checking in with like the 6th or 7th person, you've forgotten what your main intention was. And this is partly why I'm saying we want to reassess what our intentions are. Make sure they're yours, right? Make sure they're yours. Let me see. So I found something beautiful in Caroline Casey's book, Making the Gods Work for You. And, she has a segment on the moon, and she says that our moon signs reveal our spiritual traditions. There's so much that the moon does besides, like I talked about, the moon is like how we reflect what's happening in the world, right? It's also our emotional, how we experience emotions. And so we're all experiencing our emotions through the lens of Capricorn right now. And we all experience the moon, right? She says that our moon sign reveals our spiritual tradition, or like just the energy of the moon, right? The moon tells us the story of our spiritual lineage by suggesting that we each have a memory deep within of an ancient spiritual tradition. The lunar tradition is the custodian of our understanding that everything is interrelated. People, plants, animals, family, land, and planets. This truth wants to travel back to the modern world through each of us. The story of its journey is told by the moon in our charts, or where the moon is traveling through our charts. So right now, the moon in Capricorn says, my tradition can downsize your tradition. We are the administrators who manage and run the community according to a larger principle. So there's something about Capricorn, the Capricorn energy, that sees a bigger picture, or feels it, or kind of knows that there's like something bigger happening. There's a larger principle besides the self, right? We admire, study, and implement the efficiency of nature. We are ambitious and pragmatic. We store grain. We set up commerce and trade. So there's this sense of, there's kind of a setup happening that is connecting with, planning ahead, right? And how we relate, how we interrelate with one another. We plan and build empires, right? We know that gurus stop evolving when surrounded by sycophants rather than by colleagues who give them a playful hard time. So that's what I was saying, like, make sure this thing that you are doing is something that, or intention that you have, is your own. And also, right, I would add that besides having people who will challenge you, make sure that they also have that larger vision in mind, or that they're not just giving you a hard time to give you a hard time. Because I also think this is one of the lessons, especially of Capricorn, or the Capricorn energy, Capricorn moon. I'm a Capricorn sun, Capricorn Mercury, is to follow your path, right? Maybe don't tell everyone what it is that you're doing until you've been doing it for a while. It's an interesting, and make sure that people who are like, oh, wow, you're doing this big thing, you don't want people like kissing your butt, but you also don't want people going, you can't do that. Like, anyone who says you can't do that, I would question why. I would question what their motives are, not why you can't do something. Okay. Wow, I got excited there. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Capricorn moon. Some people say that the Capricorn moon is kind of cold. Sometimes it's okay to just be able to assess. Capricorn actually is deeply emotional, but there is this energy to move slow to go fast. I don't know if you've heard that before, but move slow to go fast. So before you respond, okay, before you react, you want to first of all step back so that you can respond. Like if something is really bugging you, right? Because I'm talking about being bugged, one, because there's lots of bugs out here, and two, because we're at a square, so you might be feeling some friction about some of the things you want to do. So, you know, one, again, assess if they are the things. Use that Virgo energy from the eclipse that I was talking about last week, and check in with your gut. Like, does this feel right? Does this intention still feel right? Also, notice, like, if you're feeling achy, Capricorn rules the bones, the knees, your teeth, you know, just sort of like if your muscles are getting tight or tense, like just see if, you know, check in with your body. How do you feel? Are your knees aching? Do your teeth hurt? What's happening? What's happening in your body when you start to think about some of the things that are going on for you? Maybe some of the frictions you're having. I'm curious to see what is going on with people. I talked about there being change, and then when I pulled the card, first card was the death card, and it's like and then I pulled the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and then the Eight of Wands. So basically, it was like you're reassessing. You're reassessing your reality. You're reassessing everything about your life, basically, your physical life. And there are changes that need to be made. And besides that, changes are happening anyway, because cosmically they're happening. And also the death card indicates a change that happens whether you want it to or not. And that there's kind of like there's a before the change and after the change, when you kind of look back at your life. And then the Eight of Wands is like, once the fire gets started, this change happens rapidly. And the only way I want to add that another way to like calm that change is to get connected to your body. Where are you on the planet? Where are your feet? Like, this is like when you start feeling like there's chaos happening around you, check in with your gut, but go right down to your feet, like wiggle your toes, stamp your feet a few times. What is going on? Okay, I'm here. All right, what next? So we're still feeling the energy of the eclipse. And the themes go back to September 22nd, 2006, September 23rd, 1987, and I went all the way back to September 22nd, 1968, to before I was born. So think about, you know, what's happened with you. Like for me, I did a lot of readings, a lot of people talking to me about family and well, just all different kinds of things, but a lot of time, I pulled the death card like several times this week, which I thought, wow, that's appropriate. And then for myself, I got word that my father is going into hospice, and then I've been helping another family member with a lot of legal papers around like a will and stuff like that. And they just announced to me that that the trust they're creating better get done quickly, and somehow I've turned into the person controlling it all, without really wanting to, because they feel like they're gonna die. So it's just like, okay, what do you do with that, right? Because some of it is, for me, familiar family drama. But then on the other hand, death is like pretty serious, pretty serious shit, right? And let's see, in 2006, I left New York City and moved to another part of the country with a completely different climate. Left behind everything that I was doing on the East Coast, and was like preparing for a divorce. So I'm like looking at themes. I guess for me, some of it's like, and in this last week, I had the profound longing to just want to get the heck out of here. I don't know where, but I just want to go. And I don't want to experience certain things in my life anymore. Like, I am done. So that's interesting. I want my life to be bigger. I want a bigger life. And I'm realizing that the way I am set up right now, that it's not really going to happen. Like something has to change, right? So even that thought, that desire, like, I know 9 months ago around the turn of the new year, I talked about it, but I was also kind of in a space of, well, my mom had just died, right? So just kind of like, kind of floating around. But now I'm like, since the new moon and the eclipse and the equinox, I've just been like, I'm ready for something more. I'm ready for more. And now I'm at the task of defining it. Let's see. So there's that, and I suspect that a lot of people are there. So then I'm just going through the themes, right? Because I said, look back. We're still experiencing the energy from the eclipse. So I'm like, what were the themes for me? So the theme was like, I moved and, got away from family stuff and got out of a marriage, right? That was 19 years ago. And then September 23rd, 1987, I had moved to New York City from New Jersey. And I was 16 and I was in a band. And that's partly why I moved. There are a lot of familial reasons again. But I was separated from most of my family. And I was still dealing with some family members, now I'm back to dealing with some of the same family members I was dealing with in 1987 and having a dramatic, I'm done with this. So I was trying to do what I wanted to do, really feeling like I had to go fast, and we don't have to go fast. But I was playing gigs at CBGBs and different clubs in New York, and was already like creating a career as a musician. And then had a falling out with my family, and I left home. And everything in my life changed once again. It was like a very different perspective of reality. Very different perspective of reality. But, learned a lot about life. And feeling like, okay, I've got to do something more. This situation I'm in is untenable. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not feeling as square today, but anyway, just as examples for maybe what some folks are going through. for me, that Virgo is the 9th house, which is like travel and wanting to expand my reality and higher learning. And, you know, for me, some of the higher learning is like hard knocks, school hard knocks, and then some of it also is just school, right? So what is the theme for you? In 1968, I wasn't born yet, though I do relate very much to that era. And I feel like some of the civil rights and things like that were happening around that time, or kind of like there's tension that is growing that was similar to the 60s right now, culturally, right? Around the world, and especially in the United States. I could probably have kept going back and pinpointed some fascism somewhere. Did I say that? Anyway, I'm shuffling, and like I said, it's like we're reassessing what it is we want to do. Life is creating a big pivot, and maybe there are a lot of different people pulling at you, and it's a good idea to take some time to slow down and check in with yourself. Oh, okay. I got 2 cards, and third card just jumped out. All right. So the first card, they're all right side up, is the Ace of Wands. And so, yeah, there's some passion coming through. There are creative ideas. When I told you to, if you want to go in and tweak some of your intentions, or, you know, maybe even like when you have a moment to just take some time and be with yourself, be grounded, you're going to hear an idea, you're going to hear you're just going to want to make the move. You're going to want to do it. Check in with yourself. If, you know, this looks like the burning bush, right? Which is like, oh my God, me? Well, yeah, you. This is a gift that is, there's divine inspiration, basically a divine inspiration. There's going to be some, what's the word I want to use? I said passion already. Intuition, like when this pivot comes, when this idea comes to you, check in with yourself. Do you feel, you can feel excited, you can feel a little bit nervous, but do you feel open and expanded? That's how you know. Like if it's something where you're like tight and afraid, that's probably not it. But it's something where you're like, wow, this is something expansive. This is something that is going to expand my life, even if it's just a teeny bit, that tiny expansion. But I suspect it's going to be more than tiny, right? Because, and also just because divine, you know, divine inspiration is, when you get it, you follow it. Got the Death card again. So whatever this idea, whatever this feeling is, whatever this inspiration is, it's going to create change. We are not done with the eclipse energy, like I said. The shift, the change, the turn is something that is coming from within as a response to what is coming. You know, some of it for me may be actual, death in my family. Also, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that it ain't right. And so, there's transformation that's happening. And remember what I said, like transformation leads to rebirth, right? Again, this raven is a messenger. Let what the raven has to say be inspiring, right? We want to let our change, let how we're responding to the world, let how we're responding to whatever our situations are, be done with love. Right? Love. Again, divine, we have the angel hanging out with these lovers. The angel is the third entity that comes from following what it is that you love. Telling the people in your life that you love them, and, partnering. There may be, when we follow our truth, the people who show up in our lives are true. And the Capricorn new moon is saying, like, is asking you, what is your truth? Sometimes it means you're letting go of something that doesn't work for you, and it can feel like death. And in a way, it kind of is death, right? You've been maybe going around in the world in a specific way that it just may become clear to you. This is clarity too. That you're not following your truth. And part of it is because you think that if you just kind of play it small, that you'll get through this thing, or that the person that you love will see what you're doing. They're not. They don't. Wow. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I do know what's going on. So this is the first card I pulled. This is your inspiration. This is like, the thing you're doing is going to create change in your life. And while some of the movement toward what it is you are going to be moving toward is going to be easy, like there's ease in the idea, you're going to start taking the action, and then there's going to be a change, and you're going to see what it is you're going to need to let go of. Maybe some of the intentions you made, like I said, were not your own. They're someone else's, and it's time to assess what is yours. And when you let go of fear, you bring in love. The opposite of love is fear. The opposite of fear is love. And this is like, you may have, like I said, you start being yourself. You start being, you start living in your truth. That may mean saying no to some people, which when people are used to you saying yes all the time, whoo, that can get weird, but you kind of have to make a choice. And when you get divine inspiration, it's kind of like you need to follow it. So that means certain things are going to change, and it also means that your life is going to expand, and that you're working with that higher power, that inspiration, higher power. See this hand here? That's like, the hand is in a cloud, so it's like, this is a creative spark. Now we have a whole being in the cloud. Like, it's like working with working with the higher aspect of yourself. And whether or not that this is with another person, or that you actually attract a lover who is aligned with the reality you want to be experiencing, you're experiencing your whole self. You're experiencing all aspects of yourself. The higher self, the anima, the animus, the energy, the kundalini energy that goes up your spine. We have, in yoga, they call the center the sushumna, and then the one side is the Ida, the other side is the Pingala, and they dance together. Also, I think I talked about the Caduceus last time. That's the Caduceus energy. And Ha and Ta, Hatha Yoga, sun and moon here. So there's balance. There is flowing energy. There's going to be some, there's going to be a complete letting go of something, but it's going to bring this. This inspiration is going to, you're just going to realize, if you didn't realize it before, you're going to realize it. And it's going to result in this. It's going to result in a bigger life. It's going to result in a more authentic truth. Okay. I think that's it. Woohoo! Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. When we go through a deep change, when we try to hang on, it's more painful. It's more painful. And sometimes we're letting go, and the letting go sometimes takes time. But there's a realization that the letting go is happening. It's happening. And we're going to, again, I feel like this is a reiteration from the eclipse from last week, that there is a change that's happening that is going to be like, oh, I see the world differently now. I experience the world differently now. And there are some things that just are going to be, there's a letting go that has to happen. And letting go can take a little bit of time. So be gentle with yourself. Take time out for maybe some little breath work, a little meditation. See if you can feel your body and feel any kind of, just take a little bit of time to listen. You can ask the universe, what would you have me do today? What would you have me do? And the more we can let go of the things that we're supposed to be doing, that's what I really feel like this is. Like, what are you supposed to be doing? No. I mean, this is not saying be irresponsible. This is saying, Who are you? What are your gifts in the world? Creative inspiration, saying the universe wants it. Let go of what other people expect. I mean, like I said, we're not letting go of responsibilities. Like, we have families to take care of and things like that. We have to do that, but and that brings this. So I can keep saying it in 20 different ways. You get it. This is good. It's good. It's going to be profound. It's a profound time. If you'd like to get a reading with me, go to hollytroy.com/tarot and you can get a reading with me. I am also offering a reading through, as a fundraiser, through art, sales, and research. It's for fighting food insecurity. So this is something that I was invited to do through art, sales, and research. And I'll put the link in the video to this auction, which is coming to an end on October 3rd. But it's fighting food insecurity in the Hudson Valley. And this is a thing. Like, we can do things in our communities. What do you have to offer? This is what I'm offering. And so there's a possible chance where you can get a Celtic Cross reading from me for quite a bit less than what I normally charge. Or you can get it on auction and know that the money that is being raised for the reading that you get is going to a good cause. So I'm going to put the information of that just all over the place. So again, holly-troy.com/tarot, or check out the auction information, and have a great week. Yeah, what is it that lights your fire? What is it that you've been wanting to do, maybe for decades, right? Because this is like, when we experience the eclipse energy, it's like, what did you want to do 19 years ago that you didn't feel like you were ready to do? You might be ready to do it now. Like, check in, look back, go, oh my God, I forgot about that whole thing. Or it's like, it just comes up and it's like a burning desire for you. Give it a shot. I mean, yeah, it may change your life, but we're moving in the direction of growth. We're moving in a direction of love. We're moving in a direction of truth. Have a beautiful week.